Everybody, welcome back to a special edition of the Two Man Podcast, recording a week early because we got plenty of good stuff to talk about. We are going to talk about the Deadpool and Wolverine movie, as well as the recent news of RDJ coming back to Marvel to play a character not any of us saw coming. Kind of crazy.
Fucking insane, dude.
Exactly.
Insane.
Me and Carl were pretty anxious, pretty eager to talk about both of these things, and we knew we couldn't wait one more week, so we thought, why not record a week early? So here's a little special episode for you guys. Hope you enjoy. Carl and I have not talked about the movie with each other at all either yet, so
Yeah,
we're going to hear both of our thoughts.
I think it's gonna be a pretty first of all, this movie is just absolutely just so much stuff going on. We could probably sit here for hours and then still not talk about everything that happened. Just little Easter eggs here and there. And then also too that RDJ news, man, like it has like my soul just like mixed emotions. So before we get to that, Tyler, how about you start us off? You saw Deadpool Wolverine most recently.
Yes.
So how did you feel about the movie?
I thought it was great. I thought it was a perfect Deadpool movie. I thought it had all the aspects of Deadpool movies, funny, R-rated, pretty edgy jokes, a lot of jokes that could pretty much get you canceled any which way. Just 100%. Ryan Reynolds type of humor, and kind of was on par, but taken almost to the next level, to try and top Deadpool 1 and 2 in terms of jokes and how kind of out of left field they were in some points, and kind of break the fourth wall a bunch. It seems like, obviously I'm not saying this movie is better than the first two, but in terms of he wanted to try and take it to the next level, I think they definitely did. Just from the opening scene alone was one of the craziest opening scenes of any of the Deadpools. So I thought it was great.
Let's talk about that opening scene, because I think that might have been my favorite part of the movie was that opening scene.
Yeah.
I think it was really funny that they talked about this movie, how they weren't going to touch the events of Logan.
Yeah.
And then they were like, yeah, I know we talked about not doing it, but just kidding, we're gonna touch it all over.
Yeah.
And not only did he dig up the dead body of Logan, but he then used the corpse to kill all those TVA agents, blasting freaking Bye 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 by NSYNC. Dude, it was just so perfect. And then like the dance move, I don't know if you've seen it on TikTok, like
I have,
him dancing to like people like doing the dance that he does.
Yeah.
They get it perfectly, and it just makes me want to go to a bar and just blast Bye 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 and just do the
literally there were that song and that dance sequence, along with a bunch of other songs in that movie, have just been stuck in my head for the past few days. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but if you look at the soundtrack, you just almost want to listen to the soundtrack by itself. It's so perfect.
No, it's so good, dude. I mean, I've been listening to like Living on a Prayer by Madonna like religiously ever since the movie came out. Like that end scene of them holding hands, Hugh Jackman fucking shredded, and just listening to Madonna. So funny, dude. So funny.
And obviously, I'll say this quickly too, for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, I recommend seeing it. And also stop watching this video then, because there will be plenty of spoilers ahead and things we talk about, especially like that last scene when they're holding hands. And honestly, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if they were both going to walk out of it as they were fighting to see who was going to sacrifice themselves. I thought Wolverine was definitely going to make the final sacrifice and not make it.
Yeah, me
then
too.
Then Deadpool came, so I was confused. I was confused at first.
No, I was confused at first. I was happy what they ended up doing. I thought it was really poetic too that they kind of like introduced like the anchor being in this, and like making Wolverine like the anchor. And then basically at the end, Hunter B-15 now stating that their timeline's okay now. So I guess they fixed whatever problem it was. So I think it'll be interesting to see how they do that in upcoming movies, because one of the biggest questions I've seen is something we'll get to, is who is the anchor being of 616, like our universe. Because if you were to tell me 10 years ago, I would have said it was Robert Downey Jr.
Of course.
Before Endgame, before Tony Stark died. I would have said that it was Tony Stark. So it's very interesting to see what they're going to do now.
No, I know they can go different directions with it as well. I know some people, kind of complain just about the storyline itself of the movie, which, I kind of get in some senses of it. But, I do like when they throw in things that kind of leave questions to be answered for the future, especially with, the anchor of the timeline and stuff like that.
Yeah. I've seen this movie now three times as of us recording this.
Crazy.
So, and I'll probably see it maybe one more time.
Yeah.
I don't see me seeing it like a bunch of other times.
Hmm.
Maybe even just wait for it to come out on Disney Plus, which I'm sure it will.
Probably.
But I gotta say, on my second and third watch, I definitely didn't enjoy it as much as I
Hmm.
did on the first one. I mean, I walked out of that movie theater, the first one, I was like, I was smiling like ear to
Oh,
ear. I
yeah.
was like, this is exactly what I wanted from a Deadpool and Wolverine movie. Like they delivered, and I was just so happy. Like I couldn't
Yeah.
have been happier.
Hmm.
And I was happy they left it open to like, they can potentially come back, but then they also left it to where if they don't come back, you kind of understand.
Yeah.
I think they're 100% coming back
Yeah.
because this movie already has crushed every single R rating movie box office record,
Yeah.
and it only took 4 days.
Yeah.
So this movie is probably going to make $1 billion. It's
Yeah.
already
Oh,
at
yeah.
$500 million. It's already
Awesome.
at I think almost $500 million. So
Yeah.
uh, ridiculous.
Hmm.
Like I can't even just think about that. Like making that much money in that
Yeah.
small amount of time is just absolutely ridiculous. But Tyler, what was your favorite cameo of the movie? Going into spoilers now.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because plenty of good cameos in that movie. Obviously you had Elektra look great, old time Jennifer Gardner. You had Wesley Snipes coming back as Blade, and then Channing Tatum. I had to look up the story a little bit more about Gambit to really appreciate that. Was another cameo, and then obviously if you want to, well, it is a cameo. Was Chris Evans as
That was
Captain
awesome.
America slash, you know the Flame, if you will,
The
because
Human Torch,
Human Torch, yeah, the Flame, not even
the
close.
flame.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. I think that one was probably the best cameo in my eyes because I kind of thought it might have been Steve Rogers, Captain America at first. When he had the hood on, you could see part of his outfit.
Yeah, he like had like this like weird like red and white like
Yeah,
gauntlets on,
yeah.
like,
So I'm
and
like,
then all of a sudden, flame on, it all came off.
literally, yeah, no, I'm like, all right. I'm like, they're teasing that this is Captain America, this is Steve
Yeah,
Rogers. But when he takes his hood off, there's no way it's Chris Evans, right? Like, it's probably going to be some variant, someone who was teased to play him before. And then he took the hood off, and it was Chris Evans, which I thought was crazy. And then, for him to have like everyone's like, oh, it's Captain America, but for some of the fans who know more about the Fantastic Four, know that his OG role was,
OG Roll was
yeah,
playing
was
Human
with
Torch,
them. Yeah, it was a Human
Johnny
Torch. So
Storm.
I think that was my favorite moment. That was just our favorite cameo because I was like, oh, there was another one I have, but I'll let you go first in case it's the same
Yeah,
one.
I really liked all the cameos.
Yeah.
That one specifically, that Johnny Storm one, I think was like alluded to, like, because they had asked him like in a interview like prior if he would come back and he
Hmm.
to play Captain America, and then somebody asked him what if he came back to play Johnny Storm, and he said
Hmm.
that was like more interesting for him because he felt like Captain America got like that character storyline ended a
That's
lot
fair.
better.
Yeah.
So he was like, I would like to revisit, the Human Torch character.
Hmm.
But when you just heard him say those words, it was
Yeah.
just kind of like even like Deadpool's reaction. He was like Avengers, and he's like Flame on. We're like,
Yeah.
what? And then, it was crazy. I mean, I wish that we got to see a couple more fight scenes with him
Yeah.
besides, absolutely getting destroyed by Pyro. Um,
Yeah.
but I thought it was hilarious too how they made him kind of just like the complete opposite of Captain America, just like
Hmm.
saying the F word every other sentence,
Yeah, I thought
every
that
other
was
word.
funny. Yeah.
It was really funny. But then I would gotta say my favorite cameo though. I think this is the one you were just about to say was I can't believe they got Henry Cavill to do
Unbelievable.
the Wolverine like cameo. Happens for literally 10 seconds. But like when that happened, I literally am hitting Joey. I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't believe they're doing this. I can't believe they're doing this.
Dude, that what when I saw it was Henry Cavill, I'm like, oh my God, they actually got Henry Cavill to do this cameo for, like you said, 10, 15 seconds. And I
Yeah.
thought that was great because, obviously all the rumors about, how do they replace Wolverine? Will they replace him? Who could play him? And it's like, it's Superman, it's Henry
It's
Cavill.
Superman. It's Henry Cavill. Like
Yeah.
what? Like that shit was crazy. Um, I really liked that one, but I think for me, you mentioned it. I think Gambit was my favorite
Yeah.
because I really liked his character, even if I didn't know the lore and why the
Yeah.
cameo was so great.
Yeah.
Because for those who don't know, the lore is that they tried making that movie and him to play that character multiple different times,
Yeah.
and every time they went to go like make that movie, something happened. Like the director dropped out, production like just got held up, and
Yeah.
then finally they were going to make the movie, and then Disney buys Fox, and they absolutely scrapped the project entirely.
Yeah. This was like
So
10 years in the making.
yeah, he's like been wanting to play this character forever, and he killed it. His fight scenes were dope.
Yeah.
Um and he just was like a pretty like the way they used him was well, like it wasn't like too much in your face. It was really cool, and I really did like the Wesley Snipes Blade one, especially the line where he goes, "Well, I don't like you." He's like, "Ah, you never really did anyway."
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes and him, they had beef back in the day when they
Yeah.
used Ryan Reynolds was in that original Blade movie, and he played just like a regular side character, and apparently they had like beef where they didn't
Yeah.
talk for years after. So
Yeah.
the fact that he was even in this movie is cool to see that beef can kind of just go underneath the rug for them to make billions of dollars. So
Yeah, no,
crazy.
literally. And kind of just going off that, I'm just thinking of just like the amount of jokes and lines they got away with in that movie were
I
kind of
know.
shocking. Like not even
Yeah.
just the digs at, at Fox, Ryan Reynolds or, Deadpool saying, fuck you to Fox, now because, it's Disney's turn to take over. But even just like the ones like when they made fun of Hugh Jackman's divorce when not Matt Damon, Ben Affleck didn't come back as Daredevil because I thought he was walking in, but because
Yeah.
him and Jennifer Gardner, I guess were apparently married at one point and got
Had a
divorced. So
couple
she was
kids. Yeah.
saying she was like,
Had a
"Oh,
couple
it's all right,
kids.
he's not here."
Yeah.
So
He
I
was like,
thought that
"Oh
was
my
funny.
God."
Yeah, yeah. So it just all these little jokes that just kept. I was shocked, but when you know that so much money is going to come from this movie, I feel like anything can really fly when Disney throws you the bag.
Dude, honestly, too, there were so many like little jokes that
Hmm.
like he just like because he never shuts up during the whole movie.
Nope.
Like it's literally just like little jokes that just come out of nowhere,
Yeah.
and it's just like you like think about it again. You're like, wait, that's really funny because the underlining like
Yeah.
actual humor to that is
Yeah.
like there's so much lore. Like I think one of the funniest things was when after they escaped Cassandra Nova's like dungeon
Yeah.
on like that you looks like Iron Man like foot out of there.
Oh yeah,
They
yeah.
like Deadpool's like on top of Wolverine and he's like, "Hon, almost there." He's like, "Almost done with what?" I'm just like, "Getting my knife out of your butt, man. Man,
Yeah.
Jesus. Like, get it out of your head. I'm telling Blake." Like he
Yeah,
talks
yeah.
about Blake meaning like, Ryan Reynolds' wife in real life. It's just so funny. And they even
Yeah.
hinted at Hugh Jackman's divorce
I
because he
know.
just got divorced recently.
Yeah, but I guess all those jokes just really fly over your head when you probably got paid Disney money for that movie. Even
Oh
them
yeah.
joking around saying like, "Oh, Hugh's gonna be playing this role till he's 90." Or
90.
even when Deadpool's like breaking the fourth wall and saying, "Can we stop with the multiverse? It's been
Yeah.
miss after
That's a
miss
miss.
after miss." Just alluding to just like all the movies that have come out since Endgame that have been pretty lackluster in
Lackluster,
most
yeah.
fans' opinions. So,
Yeah.
you
But
know,
then Nice
all,
Pool's like, "I think it's been steadily
yeah.
good since Endgame." And everybody's like, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah, literally. And yeah, that the scene with all the Deadpool variants were great. Obviously, getting to see Blake Lively as Lady Pool was
I was
cool.
really happy that it ended up being her. Like I was really happy.
Yeah, that was cool. I thought it was Taylor Swift at first. It sounded like her. Maybe it's just because I was thinking it was, but
Yeah.
I heard
I
it
mean, it didn't
talk.
I don't think it was actually her though in the costume. I saw
Probably not.
online that she was just a voiceover.
Mm,
They like it was like a stunt woman who was actually
Gotcha.
in the Deadpool suit. That's why you
Hmm.
don't see any of their faces.
Mm.
Same thing with Matthew McConaughey.
That was
Um,
awesome.
that was awesome. I heard his voice. I'm like, yo, that guy sounds familiar. And then I
Yeah.
was like, of course it's got to be the cowboy guy, like the
Yeah, yeah,
cowboy
yeah.
Deadpool. I was like, that's awesome, dude. Like, and then even Nathan Fillion, who was just in the Guardians of the
Mm.
Galaxy 3, and he's
Yeah.
filming um in the new Superman movie now. He was Deadpool.
Yeah, I saw that. He was there. I think their kids, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's kid, voice Kid Pool.
Yeah, the
Um,
the daughter was Kid Pool, and then the baby was like their youngest baby.
yeah, no, yeah, that's just really cool when you can make it a whole family outing
Oh
for the
yeah,
movie because they definitely just told Ryan Reynolds and probably Hugh Jackman and the director to just say whatever you guys do, go for it because we know it's going to make money
oh
because
yeah,
this
100%.
this movie we've been waiting for basically 2 years ever
Yeah,
since
ever
Ryan
since it was
Reynolds out of
announced,
nowhere cut that little promo
that
saying like,
promo was so fire,
"Hey,
and
you
it
want to
lived up
play
to it.
Wolverine again?" I mean, we've kind of been waiting for it for 2 years and not knowing how it was. That's why I think why it just made it even more exciting. I did realize during the movie that this movie, as I watched probably more and more, isn't going to be the 10 out of 10 I thought it was.
Yeah, I could
But
tell you after I've watched it for a third time, I was like here kind of cringing at the plot a little bit,
yeah,
but I loved it though. I
yeah,
still
it
love
gets
it.
confusing. The way I also described it is this movie is what Thor: Love and Thunder aspired to be.
Yes,
Because it
yes,
was goofy, it was weird, it didn't stop being goofy or weird, but it had somewhat of a storyline and didn't go too crazy. Thor: Love and Thunder, that was just a
just
whole
missed on all parts. Yeah,
miss, yeah, So I think this movie was entertaining. I definitely would love to watch it for a second time. I think originally, like as soon as the movie ended, I gave it like a 9-1. Probably goes in the high eights just after
yeah.
thinking about it more.
I think it would for me, I would definitely have it like mid eights.
Yeah.
I mean, the performances just by Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool
Oh
and
yeah.
like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Like, I think one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie was them talking back and forth in the minivan. And
Oh
like
yeah.
when Wolverine like rips into Deadpool, I was like, damn, like he's meaning every single
Yeah.
word he says here. I
Yeah.
was like, that's crazy.
No, I
Ah,
know.
dude, but that fight scene too was also really cool. Like I
Yeah.
thought it was very creative. And dude, that line in that he was like, I take back everything I said about the Odyssey. The Odyssey fucks. He's like,
Yeah.
but you don't, pencil dick or
Yeah.
needle dick. I was fucking crying, bro. This shit was so
Yeah, he's
funny, man.
slamming his head on the radio and you hear the greatest showman playing in the
Yeah.
background and
I wish they played it for longer. It was literally like not even like a second, but you
yeah.
it's so distinct, you know
Yeah.
that song.
Oh
Oh, it was
yeah,
awesome.
exactly, exactly. So, I mean, there's definitely so much more you can say from even just I think my favorite part probably about the whole movie is I was able to go back on social media because I
Yes,
tried to stay
yes.
off of it for 4
Yeah.
days. So now I can't not watch any Deadpool and Wolverine video on TikTok because,
Now you can watch everything.
I can watch everything. People can give me their thoughts. People are recording scenes from the movie, and then people are also pointing out Easter eggs that I didn't even
That I didn't
realize,
see.
even
Yeah.
to this moment. Yeah, because obviously I've seen it once, you've seen it 3 times, but I feel like you said, even if you've seen it 10 times, I feel like you will probably miss
Find
a little
something every
inside
time.
joke because you have to know
Yeah.
pop culture, you have to know the lore of some of the comics, you have to know a lot for this movie. But even if you don't, because I'm trying to tell, even if you don't know that, it's still a good movie because I didn't
Yeah,
know half of this stuff
100%.
beforehand. I didn't know
Yeah.
about Gambit. I didn't know about Ben Affleck and Jennifer Gardner. I didn't
Yeah.
know. I didn't know Hugh Jackman got divorced. I didn't know half this
Yeah, I
stuff.
had no idea he got divorced. Like
I,
that was new
I don't
to
pay
me.
attention enough to celebrities to know they were even like married, have kids. I
Yeah.
just see him as
The only ones we care about is Taylor Swift and Jason Kelsey on this podcast. So that's
Jason.
the only one. Ah,
Jason.
Travis Kelsey. Fuck.
Yeah, I know what you meant, but
Well, we
yeah,
like him too. We like
yeah,
Jason Kelsey
Jason
too.
could do it too. But yeah, I think it was just
You
a
know what?
good movie.
You know what another cameo was too that I'm so pissed that they freaking ruined in the trailer. I
What?
wish they didn't tell
Oh
us about the
yeah,
X-23 one.
yeah. You know what's Keep going. Sorry.
No, I just wish they didn't show that one because I knew she was gonna like be in it, but
Hmm.
like it would have been still a cool theater reaction to see her walk in because that was a badass like slow mo. They were like
Yeah.
fourth person and she comes in all slow mo and it's like oh shit.
Yeah.
And then
N-
like especially because the last time we've seen her play that character, she was literally 12, so she looks like completely different now. You
Yeah.
know,
Exactly. I don't understand, especially because so close to the movie. I don't know why they
it was literally like 4 days before the movie. Like you could have saved it.
people. You could have put no cameos in any of the trailers, and people were still going to go see, Wolverine in his actual, comic accurate
Yeah,
suit.
yeah.
Actually, that was another cool moment I really enjoyed for some reason when he just out of nowhere pulled out of his back and he put on the mask. Dude, I got chills in the movie theater.
Dude, I got chills too. And then the line he says after, they go, "Where were you hiding that?" He's like, "I wear it for killing mostly." I was like,
Yeah.
"Damn!" I was like, "That's a bar. That's
I
a
know, I
bar."
know. He went from like this like kind of drunk guy grieving to like a badass Wolverine at the end, which
Yeah,
was nuts, which makes me definitely think that Disney gave him a lot of money to
yeah. Oh, 100%. I'm pretty sure too. It's not like confirmed, but I'm 100% certain he's going to be in Secret Wars.
Oh yeah.
Like they're missing out. I think Kevin Feige did say though they have no plan to recast Hugh Jackman at the moment as
Yeah.
Wolverine.
Well,
So he's literally gonna play till he's
yeah,
90.
you sent me that one thing showing all the different MCU heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Some were played by four people, some by three, some by two, but there's only ever been one Wolverine, which
One
I think
Wolverine.
is true. And it's kind of the one, not to go on a whole tangent, but it's the one thing I don't really like about DC. I don't watch any
Yeah.
DC movies, but I feel like every 4 or 5 years they come out with a new Batman versus Superman,
Yeah.
a new Flash movie, and it's just like each year it's been a different guy. That's just
Different
me.
Batman.
Maybe because I'm just
Yeah.
watching from far away. But yeah, it's been a new Batman all the time. It's been a new. They make a new trilogy with Batman. It's like they make it trilogies with different Batmans. It's like tell me a different story, you know.
Yeah, no, 100%.
But that's a separate issue.
That is definitely a separate issue,
Yeah,
but it's a good issue though, and it just shows that like he is so iconic as Wolverine, and he is
yeah.
so willing to come back as the
Oh
character
yeah,
because that's
yeah.
like that's a big thing too, you know. A lot of these actors become
Hmm.
big based off of the characters they end up playing.
Yeah.
You know, like Chris Pratt is somebody who said that if it wasn't for Guardians of the Galaxy and him being Star-Lord, he
Hmm.
wouldn't be as successful as he is today. Like he's one of the A-listers doing all these amazing
Yeah.
movies,
Hmm.
and he says he has not had to audition for a single movie since Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And it's because that movie, that character, that role just transcended him in stardom. And
Hmm.
a lot of times people get too big for their britches and they're like they don't want to like play superheroes anymore.
Hmm.
But he retired and he was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna come back for Deadpool."
Yeah.
And I can't see anybody else at the moment playing Wolverine.
No.
I think Kevin Feige also said eventually somebody is going to have to, play that character again because,
Sure.
he's not going to stay and be able to stay in this shape for the rest of his life.
Yeah. No.
Um,
No one can.
Nobody can. It's just Father Time will just, come and
Yeah.
get you eventually.
Hmm.
But what he did say was it would be a mistake if they try and do a Hugh Jackman impersonation when they do try and end up playing that character, whoever
Yeah,
it
it's
ends up
fair.
being. So I don't know. It's really cool. I mean, he killed it. I think my favorite scene of him was probably the scene with him in the one shot with Deadpool. That's like my favorite, one of my favorite
Fair. Yeah.
scenes. Like that one shot of just killing
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um all the Deadpool variants was just awesome. And then obviously Dogpool was just hilarious too.
Yeah.
Did you see that Ryan Reynolds came out and was like, "Yeah, don't acquire the taste of it's a acquired taste, and I don't want you to acquire it, like
Oh yeah.
the dog's tongue, because
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
there's so
Yeah.
many scenes of him just like licking him right in the mouth.
Yeah,
This
no,
is so funny.
that was funny. Yeah, even getting to see, Happy at the beginning
Oh my
was really
God,
cool too.
yeah,
Seeing him try out for the Avengers, you know, and not getting it. The little montage at the during the credits to see the old Fox X-Men movies and stuff, like,
that
the
was
little
cool.
behind the scenes.
I really liked that.
Yeah,
I
and
forgot about the Happy Hogan one. I thought that was really funny.
yeah,
Especially when he was like, "What's your superpower? Superpower parallel parking."
yeah.
I actually chuckled a little bit at that. He's like, "I'm sorry, I get mean when I'm nervous."
Yeah, yeah. No, it was yeah, just a funny movie, bringing the TVA to show that they might be a more prominent kind of entity in the future.
Oh,
And
definitely.
yeah, and
I don't think they can do anything they have planned without the TVA.
mhm,
So it'll be definitely interesting to see what they do. Um, but that brings us actually a good segue, Tyler. I don't know if you were trying to do that.
I wasn't, but thank you.
But a good segue into the other huge Marvel news that happened this weekend was that they announced that RDJ is coming back as Doctor Doom. And when you first hear those words, it's like, wow, that's awesome. Like we really wanted him to come back. But then I think about just like how they did it. Like
Hmm.
my first reaction was, no, I want him to come back as Tony Stark. This is stupid.
Yeah,
My next reaction after that was, why did they not like why did they tell us this now? Like
yeah,
I guess they're trying to like set the hype up, but I mentioned this to you. I sent you a video about this.
hmm,
Um Imagine the hype. You're sitting there in the theaters, May 2026, when Doomsday comes out. They announce that somebody is coming to play Doctor Doom,
yeah,
right? And they just don't tell us who it's going to be. They say Doctor Doom has been casted, it's going to be a surprise. But they could have even done this too. They could have announced that RDJ is going to come back and play Tony Stark. You know, they could have said he's coming back to play Tony Stark, and then imagine we see like RDJ back on the screen for the first time,
yeah,
and everybody's like, "Oh my God, Tony Stark's back!" And then he just starts murking people,
yeah,
killing them, and then it's like that theater experience just would have been insane. But now
hmm,
that theater experience is taken away from us
yeah.
because they announced it 3 years prior to the movie coming out.
Yeah, I agree. They got impatient. They got just impatient because even if they were able to make it to the movie by saying it was a surprise thing, I think someone would have leaked it or it would have been in a trailer or something. But regardless, I think, yeah, they took away a movie experience for all of us because now, on top of the news that seems to be pretty mixed, now people are just going to theorize for the next 2 years what this Doctor Doom really is.
Uh-huh.
Obviously,
I've already seen crazy things too.
everyone's already looking at the comics to say,
Yep.
oh, well, this is a variant, or Doctor Doom took over Tony Stark,
Yep.
or I'm sure there's other ones out there. So the problem is now you hype it up in your head for 2 years, and
Uh-huh.
Marvel might do it, but if Marvel doesn't do this, or what they think the fans are going to do, ruined. They're
That
saying
yeah.
terrible move. RDJ should not have played Doctor Doom. There's better actors out there. So it's just like, why'd you announce this so early?
And I feel like that's a thing now with just all the Marvel movies. Like
Hmm.
it even got kind of happened in this Deadpool movie a little bit. Like I was so
Yeah,
hyped that we were going to see a lot more cameos than we actually did. I mean, the
yeah,
cameos we did see was great. I thought it was the perfect amount. I thought if there was anything more, it would have just ruined the whole entirety
hmm,
of the movie. But
yeah,
like you have all these thoughts in your head that you're going to see Blake Lively as Deadpool. Oh, you find out after that end or as Lady Pool. Oh, you find out after it's her. Oh,
yeah.
you think that you're going to see like this person playing this character, this person playing that character.
Hmm.
So you kind of have like some hope. I mean, the biggest one for me that did this was Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I
Oh
had
yeah,
so much hype going into that movie because I watched all these theory videos beforehand
yeah.
talking about who the hell was going to be in the movie, and then that movie fell so flat for me. It's like one of the
Same.
worst projects I feel like that came out post
Yeah,
Endgame.
same thing with WandaVision. There was so many
Yeah,
cameos about who was going to make a cameo in there, and I thought the show was so great. I thought the finale was great, but everyone thought it was
yeah.
terrible because a cameo that fans made up didn't come true.
Exactly, exactly. So that's a really good point that you bring up because that's 100% going to happen because now people are going to be like, I want them to, I want them to adapt this comic book. If they don't do it
Yeah,
this way, then I'm going to be pissed. And it's like, oh
yeah,
man, like I really just hope that I just wish they just announced the name of it because I don't mind them announcing the names of the movie,
yeah.
but like I feel like you give out a lot of plot away, like letting us know that RDJ is going to come back. Is that?
Exactly. Because you could have built it up in a trailer and you kind of see side of his face, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe it is RDJ. But, this also definitely stems from whenever it was 2 years ago, last year, 3 years ago at this point. I kind of forgot when Kevin Feige was at a separate Comic Con and he announced like the next 5 years of movies. He laid out
Yeah.
the whole timeline of shows or movies, kind of probably jumping the gun a little bit too early, but saying, Avengers Kang Dynasty and
Yep.
then Secret Wars and stuff like this because obviously, unfortunately, you don't predict this, but Jonathan Majors had his off-screen
Yep.
problems. So obviously, you put this whole timeline, this whole new era of Marvel on Jonathan Majors,
Back.
Kang being
Yeah.
this big villain. And then so all now the hype's all high. Now you want to watch a project, see how everything works in to lead up to an Avengers movie, because that builds up the hype. Because now you're building towards something.
Yeah.
But then I think because they felt so good, and then they probably felt like they got gut punched after the news came out about Jonathan Majors that they
Yeah.
went, well, now this whole Comic Con announcement was for nothing. So
Yeah.
I feel like they just had to do this because they went, we need another big announcement because the last one fell flat because this guy was not a good guy. So
Yeah. I mean, to that credit though, I think that's why they did it was because they want people to forget about the King dynasty in general, and they're like, okay, how can we have? I mean, to their credit, what they did is exactly what they wanted it to happen with making this announcement at Comic Con.
oh,
This is the
obviously,
only
yeah,
thing anybody was talking about for the past 4 days.
yeah,
Dude, they were talking about it on the Pat McAfee show that don't talk about movies at all.
yeah.
Like the reach of this just like it was so large and it was so like out there
Hmm.
that everybody was talking about. I have people who don't even watch Marvel movies like asking me like how is this possible? How is he coming back? So
Yeah.
this is like exactly what they wanted is to bring the I guess the hype level up for this movie
Oh
because now
yeah.
everybody's going to want to see what happens with it. So I understand that reasoning. But as someone who loves the movies and who wants to watch
Hmm.
it, I was just like they could have just done it so much better. Even if they do pot like I mean, I agree that he's going to probably do a fantastic
Oh
job
yeah.
with this role.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like it could have been handled a little bit better.
Yeah.
But
I
I
you
don't
know
know.
I agree as well. I know Robert Downey Jr. is a great actor. He was great as
Yeah,
Iron Man, and he's been great in other movies. Oppenheimer. He's done a bunch of roles, so he's gonna kill it as always. But
100%.
the moment was very cool at Comic Con. I wasn't watching it
I got
live. I
I
thought I
gotta
was
say,
dreaming.
yeah, I gotta say that clip of him though was hard. Like
Yeah,
literally takes off the mask and goes like this. I gotta say that was pretty cool. Like
awesome. But
really cool moment for him. But
but
I was cool and like anger
yeah,
all in the
because
same
it's
time.
cool. He does this. He's got the cool picture of him looking at the Doctor Doom mask. Like he's marketing it pretty nicely already.
Yeah.
But that moment was like what, 15, 20 seconds.
Yep.
Just think of a moment that would have been on the big screen of
Dude.
him taking off the
No.
mask and you realizing,
100%.
or his mask gets knocked off him or something, and you're like, oh my God, it's Robert Downey Jr. It's Tony Stark, within the movie. So that's just the only thing. I don't hate the casting. I just hate how they announce it so early.
This is my only thing though, because we know the variants are gonna come back, right?
Yeah,
Now, as long as he comes back also as a version of Iron Man for Wars,
yeah,
I will be okay with this. That's
fair.
the only way that like I think they can redeem all of this is yes, he's going to star as Doctor Doom in Doomsday, and
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he's gonna probably have like a post-credit scene in one or two movies leading up to it because they got to try and hype his
build.
appearance up like what they did Thanos.
Sure.
Um, but I think that if he also has a smaller role as Iron Man
Hmm.
in the next coming movies, I think that would be cool if he plays a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would do that and make it like not corny.
Hmm.
But to me, like when I think of the MCU, I think Iron Man, I think Robert Downey Jr., like I think of Tony Stark. And like they have this ability to bring him back for a short amount of time. Like
Hmm.
I hope they also like they it's like it's like making George Washington a bad person. Like you think George Washington, he's like a historic icon, and then all of a sudden you make like that hero or like somebody who you see a hero just like a villain. Like it just doesn't sit right for me. Like it's a historic event. Like he was a historic as Iron Man. and I don't know if George Washington was the best example there, but
It was a tough one because he
it was
was
a
bad.
tough
He
one.
was bad. He had
He
slaves.
he was
So
definitely a bad person. Yeah, yeah. But I don't know. It's like
I
making
kind of see
John
what you're
Cena.
saying.
He's like John. It's like making John Cena a heel.
Yeah.
You
No,
can't make John
I'm kidding.
Cena
Yeah.
the ultimate hero, the
Hmm.
ultimate good guy, a bad person. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just how I feel about it, man. It's
No,
tough.
I feel good. And the only thing that's giving me some hope, obviously, besides them probably giving Robert Downey Jr. a bunch of money,
They
is
give him like
he,
80 mil, which is insane. I don't know if you
jeez,
saw
I
that.
didn't even know that. But
Yeah.
regardless, I think, obviously they don't have like a probably full script, but they probably told him the idea for it. And he
Yeah.
could have said no, even $80
Yeah.
million. He could have said no. So it kind of gives me a little hope saying he feels like the direction is promising, or
That's
else
a
he
good
wouldn't have said yes to come back.
that's a really, really good that's a
Because
really good way to look at it.
he's got
That's
all
a
the
really
money
good
in
way
the
to look at it.
world.
Yeah.
He's talked whether he comes back as Iron Man or not. I just saw him on Joe Rogan a while ago after
Yes, I
Endgame,
remember
and
that.
he was
Yeah.
talking about if I came back as Iron Man and picked up the mask, would you guys be like, oh, or would you guys be excited? So like, I feel like if they do it as he's a variant or Doctor Doom takes over or whatever, that he has to be promised, they Kevin Feige or whoever laid out the path for him because, like you said, they have to be able to build up this character for the next year and a half. Like he better be in cutscenes or alluded to somehow instead of
Yeah.
just say in, you know, almost 2 years, like a month before the movie, you see a trailer. Like
Yeah.
he should be built up, like at the end of
I think
Guardians when
he's
we kill
gonna
Thanos.
yeah, I think he's gonna end up being at the end of Fantastic Four, definitely.
Hmm.
Um I think how I would like to see that character come in is if he's also from that universe, because they've already said that like the Fantastic Four takes place in another universe in the Sacred Timeline,
Okay.
and it's set in the retro 60s.
Hmm.
So they've already like mentioned how, you know, they're going to end up being in Avengers Doomsday and then Secret Wars.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that he's also from that universe. I feel like that would be a good cop out, but I've also seen people saying that there might be rumors that he's just from a completely different universe and
Yeah.
he's the anchor being of his own universe.
Yeah. Well, yeah, kind of to your point before, like, just listening to theories and stuff. Like, I
Exactly.
like to look at them, but I don't like to believe them because
I know it's tough. You don't want
although they definitely have like a plan for that movie and maybe, movies leading up to it. I also think there's no way these fans, no matter how big of a fan of the comics you are, know what's exactly going to happen.
Oh
So,
yeah.
so for them to have these theories about like, oh, they're saying this, they're saying that, it's like they can say whatever they want. I don't even think
Whatever
Kevin
they
Feige
want.
knows. So
Yeah. I don't think he even
fully.
knows. You're right.
So it was regardless of if it's going to be good or bad. It was shocking.
Shocking. Shocking, man. Shocking indeed.
Yeah. So plenty of good projects coming out past that though,
Yeah,
and it's just.
I'm really excited for the next Captain America movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, Brave New World. I think that's going to be a really it's shot really well. Kevin Feige said they're going back to grounded base like Winter Soldier, and Winter
Yeah.
Soldier is my favorite movie
Yeah.
from the Marvel universe. So I am very very excited to see that movie in
Hmm.
February, and I'm happy we don't have to wait like too long
Yeah.
for that one either. I mean, it is still pretty long. We're in what, August now, and it's going to be February, not for another 6 7 months, but
Yeah, but it's nice.
fuck it.
They're spreading out these movies. They're kind of
Yeah.
talking about just, a couple movies a year and, like they used to do, which I think they needed to go back to because there was some
Yeah, I mean,
misses.
I don't mind if they sprinkle in like a TV show here or there, but like
Yeah.
it was definitely a little crazy. I was very happy because there was a lot of content to
Yeah.
watch at that point
Yeah.
when COVID was going around and we really
Hmm.
wanted content because we were all bored.
Yeah.
But now it's like, we can calm down. I could wait.
We
I
got
could
other
wait a little
things to
bit.
do.
Yeah. Got sports. We got the Olympics right now.
Yeah,
Got
exactly.
a bunch of
But
stuff.
plenty of other things to do as well. But, we just wanted to hop on here, share our thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine and
Yeah,
the
hope you guys enjoyed the
RDJ
movie.
news.
Hope you saw it. Hope we didn't spoil anything too much for all of you.
Hopefully
So
not. Yeah.
make sure you don't watch this video if you have not seen it. So,
Yeah, exactly. And, in 2 years, when this podcast is obviously still going, we will talk about how Doctor Doom, the movie, was. So,
oh, 100%. Yeah. Doomsday. We'll talk about it. We'll let you know what we think about how RDJ did.
Exactly. We'll clip that for 2 years down the road. But as always, guys, we appreciate you guys listening to everything. Please make sure to keep liking, subscribing, talking to
Like
us.
that button, hit that smash button, comment. Thanks, guys.
Exactly. And that's all we got. We appreciate it. Please make sure to keep listening to this episode and past episodes. As always, till next time. Peace.
Till next time. Peace out, Girl Scouts.